Alright guys, we're going to mix it up a little bit today. I've been talking about the NFL so far, and now it's time for me to shift into college football mode a little bit here, because it's actually time for us to talk about something. So, after over a decade of crap from the team that I root for, a couple of decent seasons, but nothing great, um, my team might finally be good again. And by good, I mean a team that can make a major bowl game, a team that can maybe even at least contend for a playoff spot. I don't know if we're there yet, but I don't think we're that far away. So, the Washington Huskies, it's been a long wait for a lot of us, including me. I remember the days when we were doing good things with, Brock Heward, Tuiapasoso. I probably butchered his name, but whatever. I met him in real life, and he's kind of a jerk anyway. I remember that, and those days have been gone for quite some time. I've seen this team go 0-12. I've seen this team just completely take up the very bottom of the conference, and I've seen this team struggle to be mediocre, to win 5 games and 6 games, and I'm happy with that, which is not great. And finally, things are headed in the right direction definitively. The Huskies came into the season ranked 14th in the nation, and they played really well the first 3 games. And I didn't want to say anything about those first 3 games because what can you learn? But we blew out all 3 of our opponents, Rutgers, Idaho, and Portland State. But those are 3 teams that are clearly on a completely different tier of college football than us, so I wasn't going to freak out about it either. Conference play starts tonight. We take on the Arizona Wildcats, and we are favored pretty heavily. We're 2-touchdown favorites. It's in Arizona, which is, that's not nothing, but it starts tonight for real. I mean, those first 3 games, you got to win those games. If you don't win those games, you're a joke. And we handled our business. So, number 9 in the nation. We were number 8 for a week or 2 there, and then we fell back down to number 9 because I think it was Michigan State or something did something awesome and jumped. But this is the time where you really prove it, because the number 14 ranking coming into the season was not entirely earned, I don't think, because this team was approximately average last season. They were definitely going to improve this year, but to say they're number 14 in the nation and they're on the same level as teams like, I don't know, Oregon, Stanford, even, maybe one tier below teams like Alabama and Clemson and now Louisville seemed a little bold. I mean, now we kind of know that we are at least as good as some of those teams, but before the season it was iffy. So to see this team come out and play as good as they can over those first 3 games, it was great. But tonight, you really get the chance to prove it, because this is a team that actually has a chance to win. They don't just have a chance to keep it somewhat close or to make the game entertaining. If you give them a chance to actually win the game, there's a team that can actually do something with that. So, to look at the team over the first 3 games, basically, the offense has been really good. Jake Browning has played great. His numbers are down just because he sits out in the fourth quarter and the second half a lot. 12 touchdowns, 1 pick, averages, over 200 and about 250 yards a game. Comes out for the fourth quarter in most of the games so far. The running game, Myles Gaskin has been improving with every week. He started slow, but with each passing week, it seems like he's stepping up his game. So the skill position guys on this team, John Ross is back, and he's made a lot of big plays for us in special teams and offense. Chico McClatcher, that dude's awesome. Kind of makes me think of, I say this about a lot of players on the Huskies that I've seen over the last 5 years, but he makes me think of a Percy Harvin type. Daryl Daniels has been good. Dante Pettis has made a few big catches. So skill position wise, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end, this team is loaded with the talent that it takes to really put it on the rest of the league. Offensive line, I didn't love because we were playing teams that we should be beating up on. We have what is supposed to be a good offensive line, and they played good, but I don't know if they played great. I'm a little bit concerned about that as we see this team go and play good teams. Maybe not so much Arizona, but when we have to play a team like Stanford, I wonder how they're going to hold up. Excuse me. So the offense has been really good. I think it can be better, and I think we're going to learn a lot more after tonight. Defense. You have to be very impressed by this defense so far. Not that they've played anybody all that good, but they've given up yards. Like last week against Portland State, we gave up a lot of big yards. We gave up a lot of long drives, but we kept pinching down in the red zone, forcing stops on fourth down, getting a couple of turnovers here and there. Buda Baker playing safety is a man. We still have some good linebackers this year. Victor Azim. The defense has impressed me a lot given how many players they've lost recently. I mean, 2 years ago, you lose Shaq Thompson, Marcus Peters, Danny Shelton, and then last year you lost, 2 years ago you lost Kikaha, and a lot of people thought the defense was going to be bad this year, was going to fall off last year. It didn't, and then some people thought maybe it would fall off this year because you lost a few more players, like Travis Feeney, I think he got drafted by the Saints or something. Defense so far has played really well. You can't ask for much more from them. So, all that being said, as good as the team has looked, we're going to learn a lot more tonight, and then we're going to learn a hell of a lot more the 2 weeks after that. Stanford, Oregon, not so much Oregon State, but then you've got Utah, and those are really the three big games this year because USC doesn't look like much of anything this year. The Cougars look like a bit of a mess right now, so the schedule is not that bad this year. This is the year you can really win 10 games, and it's not even that big of a stretch. I mean, if you're going to say we're going to lose to Utah because it's in Utah, that's a possibility. You're going to say we're going to lose to Stanford because they're just better than us. You can win every other game on your schedule, and it's not unreasonable at all. So this is really the year that we can win 10 games without necessarily being a juggernaut. The conference is not that great this year. We can win 11 games very comfortably without being an Alabama-level team. So I think the expectations have to be very high this year in terms of a win-loss record. I feel like if you don't get to 10 wins, it's kind of a letdown. I feel like it's very reasonable to say that we should be able to win either 10 or 11. So we'll know more tonight. That's what I'll say about this. And Arizona, they haven't played anybody good yet either. I believe they're 3-0 as well. They've had a good start to the season. Oh no, I'm sorry, they've lost to BYU. So, and then they beat Grambling by a little bit, and then they blew out Hawaii pretty good. So this is a team that can beat us, but it's also a team that has shown thus far they are clearly on a lower tier than us. So looking at their roster, their offense seems like it's okay. They have two guys who have played quarterback quite a bit this season. One guy's been pretty good. The other guy, not so much. Brandon Dawkins seems to be their best option at quarterback. He's also a hybrid threat. He runs a lot. He's done a lot of good stuff on the ground this year. This should be a game that you win, but it's also a team that is capable of making things hard on you. So my expectations for tonight is we win by about what the spread is, 2 touchdowns. I think if it's a really close game or, God forbid, you lose, we have to reevaluate. But this season, I'm expecting big things. I think there's a good reason to expect big things, and the big things start tonight. All right, I'll probably make a video tomorrow or maybe Monday about this game, whatever happens in it. Hope things go good, but this probably isn't the kind of game where you're resting your starters in the fourth quarter, so let's go.